Have you ever fully hated someone after only meeting them once? This old man in his 70s who I've never seen before showed up at my door, and when he told me why he was here, I seriously considered ending his life there and then. You see, when I was a little kid, I had this uncle named Andrew who had peculiar sexual preferences, to say the least. I was 7 years old when he cornered me in my room's closet and did whatever he wanted. My parents were home, but they were too busy arguing downstairs to notice their child getting R-worded 20 feet away from them. I remember it hurt to sit down in the following days, and when I approached my parents to tell them about it, not only did they not believe me, they gave out to me for making up such disgusting lies. In fact, they even invited Andrew over again that same weekend, specifically so I could apologize to him. I remember trembling in fear at the dinner table, being 7 years old, surrounded by 3 intimidating adults all looking down on me. I ended up saying sorry to Andrew, and my parents too chimed in to apologize to him on my behalf. Well, as I'm sure you can guess, but Andrew did it again that same visit, in that same closet. We were both gone for maybe 5 minutes, and yet somehow, my parents never put the 2 and 2 together. Funnily enough, it was my teacher who noticed first. She asked me why I wasn't sitting down on my chair, and I just broke down. I asked her if I could whisper it to her, and I saw her face drop. She took me outside and kneeled down, and I just started crying. I told her about Andrew, about how my parents didn't believe me, and I remember asking her to please believe me. She called the cops on the spot, and before I even knew it myself, I was being taken in for questioning. The cop asked me to explain with action figures what exactly happened, but other than that, I don't remember much. All I know is that I stayed with some random people for a while until the trial day came around, and although my parents were not on the stand, they might as well have been, because their face was in the news, and our whole town knew what they did. The case was overwhelming for 7-year-old me. They may have been monsters, but they were still my family. I still remember how it felt getting up on the stand and in detail describing what he did to me. I remember how my father mouthed at me to shut up every time I opened my mouth, and how he mouthed, "Don't bother coming home," as soon as the sentence was given. My uncle was given 19 years, an especially harsh sentence because of his previous conviction relating to this. Watching him get taken away was hard, and watching my parents leave the courtroom without looking at me was even harder. Fast forward 21 years. I'm 28 years old, and I had fully gotten over all the fucked up trauma that I went through as a kid, or at least I thought I did, until some old guy knocked on my door. I opened up, and he had a suit on him as well as a briefcase. I told him he was probably at the wrong place, but he said no. "Are you the nephew of Andrew?" Insert his last name. My world stopped. I slowly nodded, and that's when he gave me a piece of news. A piece of news that made me fully realize how messed up our legal system was. He told me my uncle passed away. I originally went to respond that I didn't care, but he interrupted me and kept talking. Apparently, I was my uncle's closest living relative, and my uncle had a lot of college debt left to pay off. $250,000 to be exact. And because college loans are the only kinds of loans that you cannot declare bankruptcy on, it means they can be passed down even after death. This is what happened to me. Thanks to our amazing legal system, I now had to pay off $250,000 in college loans for the man who molested me as a child repeatedly and ruined my life. I just stared at the guy in the suit and told him flat out I would not be paying. I told him what my uncle did, thinking it would persuade him, but he didn't even flinch. He told me he flat out didn't care. He told me my uncle could have unalived my firstborn for all he cares. I had to pay, and if I didn't, I'd be facing 10 years in prison. I couldn't finish the full story here. It is on my channel and linked below.